to upgrade. Whoo Caso. Everything upgrade, man. Great.
And we thank you for spending some time with us here at Heart Talks. I'm here with artist, entrepreneur, musical phenom, Whoosie Works himself.
Man, what's up, man? Y'all doing, man? Whoosie Works, Whoo Caso. Whoosie Works, Whoo Caso.
Who is Whoosie Works?
Whoosie Works he's an artist. To speak in the third person.
Okay, appreciate that. So let's keep it moving with the questions. Okay, so where does the name Whoosie Works come from? Like, where does the origin of it?
Well, Whoosie is my nickname. So, as a kid, I was named Whoosie, like from elementary on up. And Works, and how that comes, man, shout out to Russ. Russell, man, over at the barbershop in Tallahassee. Russ said, yo, you should, man, you doing your work, man, you should call it Whoosie Works. So one of my old barbers gave me that idea to go ahead and put Works on it. And it just manifested like that, y'all.
What changed your mind when your mom bought you that first easel and keyboard?
It was on. I said, it's on and popping. She got me that easel. I'm loaded up with sheets, man. Even in middle school, I'm doodling. I have a little construction paper. But just being in my room, kind of being like an introvert, just stuck in my room, trying to do different things alone, being the middle child. That easel, I got a chance to practice on my background and bigger type of pictures instead of just small doodle. So I have the radio playing in the background. Bam, I get to record the beats off of the radio. So it was just like where you had the music and you had the art tethering to each other. And it's like, damn, man, this little young boy, he's getting an overload of all of these sounds and these pictures. And from there on out, I just kept on working on it and pushing it. And hence you got Whoosie Works, you got Whoo Caso as one person.
So at that age, what did creating give you that nothing else was able to do? Like, what was it about creating art at that young tender age of 12 that it just gave you that rush?
That was art was like my island. It was a peaceful island. It has always been an island for me to go off on and be there. When I'm doing my art, I put all of my anger, my happiness, my sadness, and it's serious, y'all. Like when something happens, no matter what it is, I would go and try to build an art piece because I feel like it just transferred into it. It just leave me at a loss for words, man. But I love it, y'all.
When did you realize, like at what point in your life did you realize that this was a part of your purpose and it was more than just a hobby?
I realized that when I feel the high from it, it's a high that you don't get from prescriptions and extracurricular activities. You know what I mean? It's nothing like it that art does for me. When I complete a piece, it has taught me to complete things. If you start on something, you must complete it. And if I start on a piece, I try to gauge it in my head and say, I want to have this piece done at this time, but I want to make sure that the piece is done symmetrically and detailed because I care about the person that's viewing the piece. And when I got that feeling from drawing, like I say, Bart Simpsons and different cartoons back in middle school, and the guys and girls would say, man, I like what you did there, Whoosie. I like what you did. That's that high that I got. And if it's an attention that I crave, that's an attention that I'm gonna eat like a buffet, y'all.
Okay, Woozy. So I'm just putting the story together, man. I need you to take me back even further now. So, how was growing up in Memphis shape your sound, your art, and your overall mindset? Like, what does it mean to be from Memphis?
Memphis, to what people, you know, what they have to understand is Memphis is the birthplace of blues and rock and roll. You know, being that I'm a black guy, that the rap just comes with the territory. Um, and Memphis is a place where prostituting and pimping has always been embedded in the soil of Memphis. You know, the acronym of Memphis, making easy money, pimping over the series. You know what I mean? The mentality is much different and much quicker. Um, I'm from West Memphis. West Memphis is actually across the bridge. Once you cross the Mississippi River, you in the only part of Memphis that's in Arkansas. But it's still the same vernacular. It's the same way we do things. Coming up in Memphis, um, being that we had so many celebrities and musical artists that came from Memphis, it gave you um that creative want. It's like, man, you looking at all of these people that's from the crib. It's like, man, I know I can do that or whatever I'm doing, even if it's basketball. I want the most creative dribble, the most creative layup. Um, but coming from back home, I was always the rapper, in the talent show. Shout out to Billy Joe Hayes. It's a guy back home in West Memphis that has always uplifted the community and gave us something to do. And that something to do was like the showstopper. I'm a little slim little guy, so I tried a little football situation, y'all, but that wasn't for me. My feeling was more of being in the bleachers, and you got your guy with the pencils doing the beat, and me having the rap contest, with the guy from the other side that they say is real good. That was my high, and then when I'm leaving that game later on that night, my mama she's cooking, but while she's cooking, I'm at the table. I'm at the counter. I'm drawing. She know what I'm up there doing. Telling my brother, don't get up there with all that juice, wasting nothing on that boy paper, because he love his artwork. And that that just let me know and it solidified that. Yeah, man.
Got one more question for you on that. So how does Memphis influence your music and your art? Like, what parts of it is where we can see Memphis out of it?
Man, Ball and G them influenced us. 3 6 off top influenced us. You know, I'm from that era. So the guys that's from Memphis now, like we bumped them, but we didn't grow like shout out, rest in peace, the Dolph. You know what I mean? Shout out to, them CMG boys. Shout out to Finesse 2 Times. Shout out to the little YB little homie that's from West Memphis. Shout out to everybody that's from Memphis, all the way back to Skinny Pimp. And y'all know, if y'all from the crib, you know Skinny Pimp 211. They the savviness of the rappers. We all, it influenced me. That's why I be on my fashion. That might rub some dudes wrong, but how I came up in Memphis, you had to be fresh. Fresh went along with what you was doing. You know what I'm saying, y'all? If especially me being in the rap game, um, the influence of those big rappers, it's like, yeah, man, like I see what they're doing. And I see the companies that they are opening up like around, like such and such DJ Paul, he owned that too. Moneybag Yo, he owned that too. Seeing that, it let us know that, man, we can be more than just rappers. We can really be businessmen, men that know how to keep a rhythm to a beat, and we can do other things, to uplift our youngsters that's up under us too, man. So Whoo Caso, that's the guy. That's the one that's making this metal art. He's the one. He the one who paints the art. He goes back over. He looks in the at the pictures and he say, "Hey, get out of your bed and go and fix that overspray because you got that on the other part. Like you got to fix that." He's the one that critiques all of the artwork. So yeah, Whoo Caso, that's man. Y'all stay tuned to the Whoo Caso Metal Art Show. I mean, it's going to be mind blowing. And of course, Whoosie Works, he will be there and he will be performing for you guys. And, you know, we'll have one big experience, you know. So that's how we started with Whoo Caso.
What types of metal art do you create? Like, what type of metal are you using? Like, how do you create it?
Well, I use 24 gauge galvanized metal. It's pretty easy to manipulate, to bend, and form the shapes that I need. Um, yeah, it if I could use thinner metal, then I would. I have used let's say mirrored stainless. I use that piece on Cobra Commander's mask, his face, to give it that authentic mirrored look. I've used aluminum, and I've used copper, but mostly just flat galvanized 24 gauge metal. Gauge metal.
Okay, thank you. When you start a new piece, where does it begin? In your mind, in your hands, on paper, your emotions?
Oh, that's all of those are great questions, dude. It's it's random on that question. Um, I could be watching a movie and depending on how standoutish that character is, I would say, yeah, I want to do that piece. I have this thing where I start staring at the wall. Like for 20 minutes, I would stare at the wall and I would build a piece like looking at the wall, but I'm picturing me building the piece. And then I have times where I would actually draw, just go straight to the metal. And it's what I call ghost sketching. That's a thing that I came up with because when you're using graphite pencils on galvanized metal, you can't look at the metal and see anything. You can't even see until you look to the side and tilt the metal and you can actually see what you're drawing. So at times I ghost sketch and that brings me to, creating the piece. But overall, uh, me and every other viewer, millions of viewers, I think just watching the shows and watching the movies and sucking it in gives me that want to build the metal character.
Which piece do you think people connect with the most?
Buzz Bunny and Daffy Duck, and I did the one where they're in their tuxedos with the top hats. Um, because I Bugs Bunny and Daffy, they kind of kicked it off even for our parents. Um, and Looney Tunes it'll never go out of style. So I figure it's worldwide. When somebody see Bugs and Daffy, no matter who it is, they'll know those two characters. And uh,
I know that your grandma recently passed. I just want to know, what does her legacy mean to your art?
yeah,
And
rest in peace to my grandma Steen. Everybody love Grandma Steen. Um, Yeah, she passed away. My grandmama had dementia, and I know a lot of people suffer from dementia and Alzheimer's. You know, affecting the memory and the brain. Um, and so my thing, I thought about it. I said, man, and she always used to say, Woosie, you know, I love what you're doing, boy. You keep up the good work. That was my grandmama. Everybody loved my grandmama. So when she passed away from that disease, I thought about it. And I said, my artwork, I feel that my purpose for making this artwork was to let's say, give a prescription, a visual prescription to people who have that type of disease. And with all of the pieces that I have done, instead of having to pick up a remote control and say, man, let me find that cartoon I haven't watched. And if you come to Whoo Caso's art museum, his art show, and you see the abundance of the characters, um, I want these pieces to trigger that little girl that your grandfather, your uncle, whatever family member in your family that have that terrible disease, y'all. I wanted to be able to trigger that, turn that light bulb on, and say, man, because I know it can happen. There's no way it can't happen. Why? Because everybody who view and see Whoo Caso's pieces, my pieces, the first thing they say, y'all, is I remember when I was watching that. I remember when me and such and such used to watch that. And so you take that by the mass, and boom, your grandmother, like my grandma, if she's still here, your auntie, your mother, and they come and they see Whoo Caso's art, and it triggers something, even if it's a small, because when it comes to memory, it's only one small window that has to be open. And that's when the wind just comes through the house. And now it's boom, boom, boom. You need no doctors, none of that. Just gratefulness, just like I get excited. Y'all, you see, I'm getting excited. I'm getting because it turns me up when I think about what I do and how much I love what I do, and me actually having a purpose that hits home, and it hits home hard. So me losing my grandmother, this would be a way where I can help millions of other people's grandparents and friends, family, whomever you know that is dealing with this. That is my purpose. When I do these shows, when I open the museum, the gallery, um, I want that, y'all. I want to see that. I want to see people it just clicking just like that. And it give me that type of feeling that, yeah, man, yeah, you really here, and you helping somebody. You ain't just doing something that look good. You doing something that is good. It makes sense, and it's helping people, and they don't have to go in their pockets to get a memory back.
Taking the time to speak with us here at Heart Talks. Truly do believe that every heart has a story. So my question to you as we go out is, what does every heart has a story mean to you?
Man, it does. Every single heart has its own story. It beats to a different tempo. The things that people go through every day, their heart is from anxiety and just the pressures of life. You have a lot of people whose heart beats at a normal rate because they're living a pretty comfortable life. So every heart has a story. It tells the story. When people shed those tears, when they talking about their pains, and when they see something that really makes them happy, and they're so joyful, and they laughing so hard that they start crying, that heart is beating at a certain tempo. And each one of those hearts and each one of those beats, it tells the time of a story each one of us has.
All right, thank you. Thanks again, Woozy. Much appreciation. It's been a pleasure, man.
Man.
Whoosie Works throwing you a metal art party, calling all celebrities, all the movie stars. Whoosie Works throwing you a metal art party. Red and Chuck said they coming bumming, Silver said they coming Devin, Zeta said they coming to the metal art party. Sunken Tail said they coming, Knuckle and Shadow said they coming, Karma Bridges said she coming to the metal art party. Yeah, Max Duke, Gidget, Chloe, Snowball, Buddy, Mel, Daisy, Pops coming to the metal art party. Inspector Gadget, Dr. Claw, Teen Wolf, George coming to the art party. Chester Cheetah said he coming, Pink Panther said he coming, Willy Wonka said he coming to the metal art party. And Verb said they coming, Isabella said she coming, Perry the Platypus said he coming to the metal art party. Michael Myers, Freddy, Jason, Leatherface, Karen Stripe, Gizmo, and It coming metal art party. Exorcist, Pinhead, Children of the Corn, Jigsaw, Screaming Critter coming metal art party. Mario said he coming, Waluigi said he coming, King Cooper said he coming to the metal art party. Princess Peach said she coming, Timon and Puma said they coming, Johnny Five said he coming to the metal art party.